Here's some exciting and interesting news to share to each and every one of you. It may come as a great interest to you all, but on this day, because today marks the birthday of a special man, and it's not many people know of him, but I know of him quite well, and I'm about to tell you about him. He was born on this day in West Ham in London, Greater London technically, on the 25th of November of 1926. This man, he certainly needs no introduction. Terry Kilburn. More at birth was Terence E. Kilburn. That was. He was born on this day, 25th November 1926, which means today marks his 99th birthday. Terry Kilburn is a very good, interesting actor, but he's a retired actor. He's not acted since 1969, but he did another career after acting, until he properly retired in the 1990s. And I'm going to explain to you his amazing life and career he's lived and led in all of his life. He started off acting as a child actor, doing unpaid child acting in 1934, originally in his birth city in London, where his late father worked as a ticket taker for the local bus line, which in the 30s, there was a lot of publicity about which he said, busman's son becomes Hollywood star. He emigrated to the United States of America in 1937 with his mother, and his father followed the following year in 1938, which he described as an emotional moment when his father came to the USA. He saw his father, he ran, leaped in his arms, and both were crying, which he described as a pretty incredible but very emotional moment, which he spoke about back in 2014. But one of his major breakthrough movie, what Terry Kilburn is most known for, is portraying the first on-screen role as Tiny Tim in the 1938 movie A Christmas Carol, which is the Reginald Owen version of A Christmas Carol, starring Reginald Owen, Gene Lockhart, and his daughter June Lockhart, and several other casts to come. And of course Terry Kilburn himself as Tiny Tim. And then he did other movies that followed, like Goodbye Mr. Chips, Lord Jeff. He was also in the Elizabeth Taylor movie, National Velvet. It was Elizabeth Taylor and Mickey Rooney movie, that is, where he was famously known to have given Angela Lansbury her first on-screen kiss in the minor role in that movie. He appeared in other movies that followed during the late 1940s and throughout the 50s, up until his final on-screen role in 1969 in the television series Get Smart, where he played Carl Shirtsinger alongside his co-star, the late Claude Woolman. And after Get Smart in 1969, Kilburn packed up acting and took up theatre directing at the Rochester Theatre in Michigan, which was where he worked as a theatre director from 1970 up until his retirement in 1994, where he moved to Minneapolis in Minnesota, all alongside with his late partner of more than 50 years, Charles Nolte, another accomplished actor and of course Minnesotan by birth. Once Nolte packed up acting, he became a theatre professor at the University of Minnesota, up until his retirement, that is. And Terry Kilburn has lived a peacefully retired life in Minnesota since 1994. But very sadly, over the years after his retirement, sad memories came. In around about 2008, 2009, his dearly loved partner, he was gay, that was Charles Nolte, became very ill with cancer, in which he sadly died and passed away of the disease, due to the disease, on the 14th of January 2010, at the age of 86. And and since then Kilburn has lived alone as a widower since Nolte's death. And 4 years after Nolte's death, in January 2014, he said that he openly described that since Nolte's death he misses him every day. I mean, that is touching, and you'd only expect that when you're who was then 87, almost 88 at the time. Then 2 years later, in December of 2016, nearly 3 weeks after his 90th birthday, Kilburn was interviewed by WCCO News, a Minnesota news press television station which was a television channel based in Minnesota, which he was interviewed with, talking about his amazing life and career that began properly shortly before his 12th birthday in 1938, holding one wooden crutch. And he explained his acting life and then his post-acting life to Minnesota News Press. There's a full-length interview video of it, which I shall link in the description below, where he's being interviewed at the age of 90, which he couldn't have passed for at the time. Maybe in his 70s he could have passed for. But yes, he was interviewed. One of his most recent interviews was after his 90th birthday. But this time next year, if he's still alive and still standing, he will be reaching his 100th birthday on the 25th of November 2026. Fingers crossed let us hope he makes it. And I'm hoping he gets interviewed for his 100th birthday, because he was interviewed shortly after his 90th, and let us hope he gets interviewed again in the near future. He was very interesting in his interview, and I'm hoping to see another one. And hopefully, come December of 2028, which by this point, he'll be 102 years old, he'll be still alive. Hopefully, he's still going to live to see the 90th anniversary of the A Christmas Carol movie. And so, yes. So today, it's Kilburn Day. 25th of November is Kilburn Day. And every year, every year on the 25th of November marks his birthday. And certainly next year will be a special one indeed. So it's a very happy birthday to Mr. Terry Kilburn himself, and very many happy returns on his special day indeed. But may I take the time of thanking each and every one of you most kindly, sincerely, for watching. Please let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. But Terry Kilburn, he's appeared in many wonderful movies, interesting movies. I haven't seen all of them, but I saw him in Get Smart, however. He was good in Get Smart, and good in National Velvet and A Christmas Carol, which I have seen him in, by the way. And hear this, he's the last surviving cast members from A Christmas Carol 1938 and National Velvet 1944. Since the death of Angela Lansbury, he's been the last surviving cast member of National Velvet, and since the death of June Lockhart, who died in October 2025, aged 100, hear this, he's been the solely last surviving cast member of the movie since the last month. And there we are. So a very happy birthday and many happy returns to the one and only Terry Kilburn himself. Thank you most kindly, sincerely for watching, and here's to Mr. Terry Kilburn for his 99th birthday, and here's to 100 for next year if he's fortunate enough to make it. Thank you for watching.